a conscious decision that, you know, Tiny can just have whatever farm he has, and it is going to be ROTK Morphling again, and Knoxforce just told us that they lost the last time he played that, and I mean, I don't know, I just, you know, for me, offlane Morphling is this very like hit and miss kind of role, where some games it just ends up doing nothing. It achieves nothing in the lane, tries to get its levels. If it takes too long to get its levels, can't even contribute too much to kills. There's other games we've seen it dominate a lot, but I mean, maybe this is just like some kind of clowny prejudice, but I feel like if there's like a new offlane role, a hero that like has a way to like either do really well or feed, I expect ROTK to feed a few times on it while he's, you know, getting used to it.
He's level 1 with Waveform. Flame going to throw down the shrapnels. Black.Z still chasing through. With Cogs level 1, he could maybe try and trap someone in here. He knows that DDC and Inflame don't have boots of their own. Not going to find anyone just yet. Now, EHOME with the Enigma.
30 seconds
They're against
to battle.
Avalanche, paralyzing cast, hook shot, Black.Z traps Inflame in the Cogs. Now the cast comes out and he's bounced back by the Cog. Actually, in comes Virgo. He's got no mana. He's already used Toss to get him further forward. They threw the clockwork in now. RTK, Waveforms in, Sheezry, shrapnels, Sniper coming in for the hit. RTK, but be careful what you're doing over here. There's one more hit, no! Sheezry Wish Doctor escapes through the midnight clock somehow. He's not going to get taken down, and very, very nice blocks there. Maybe Telekinesis does drag him back. The first blood goes away, the Viper. As Tiny drops and clockwork. Chased down, ZYF.
Worthy tribute.
Find this kill, not sure if he'll find it. Needs some more slows. There's no one else backing him up either.
That'll still help him dominate his lane early on, I guess.
That was so messy. Paul,
I'm just a little bit. I'm a little bit surprised that DK forced the issue so hard, just because of that sniper, just because of the 3 charges of shrapnel at level 1. It's the same reason you don't often fight too aggressively for bounty runes against a team of sniper. Okay, what mid? There's some interesting action going on here between the sniper and the Queen of Pain. And I guess the Queen of Pain knows Sniper doesn't have any shrapnels. If he had shrapnels and she went level 1 Shadow Strike charged up at him, I think she just dies. And he's got one now, but okay, he's just gonna use it straight away.
Oh, he might die here. One more hit there from the Queen of Pain. Maybe could have secured that, but she didn't want to get into tower range or take, you know, a turn hit from him. Also, RTK heading in towards this mid lane. Flame needs to tango up. Does he just go back to base? Because there's no way he can get last hits here.
Thanks.
Right?
Well, RTK came to solve him. I think that was the plan. But Queen of Pain solved as well. She's going straight back on him.
Morphling? What do you do here? Waveform onto the Quap, Inflame turns and fights. Here comes the Waveform. RTK getting ready to go in. Quap, he's not going to land it, but still. Cast comes out. Inflame going to fall to the Witch Doctor as RTK's looking for that one final right click, but not going to find onto the Quap, who blinks herself out. This is pretty chaotic so far.
This is an offlane Morphling that has almost been useful early on, and I always find it impressive when they make some kill or help them in some way, but ultimately not been useful at all, and it didn't, just because it didn't work out, and the sniper's the one who actually died there. I guess the one advantage is the Queen of Pain took really long to run back to base, that even though the sniper's the one that died, she's the one that's she's losing out more experience, I think. They're gonna be about even in the end.
I don't understand what's going on here. Viper has one last hit.
What?
Is this bugged out for me? Does he actually have one last hit? He just got
Yeah, that's what I see. That's what I see as well.
ZYF safe lane Viper has 2 last hits. Safe lane Title actually, super. Chased down by RTK at mid lane. We've got a fight already brewing as Witch Doctor finds a sniper again. Hasted Rubik not fast enough to save his teammate. I'm actually at the loss. How does the Viper not get last hits on this play?
The clock's been doing this catch creeps and trees thing, and then like doubling and tripling up the waves, and maybe that's made it a bit harder for the Viper. The clockwork hasn't got any creeps, so it's not really about him denying or last hitting. It's just about the way he delayed the wave. It must be. I don't know what else it could be, but I think you're right that he ought to have got a few more than just one at that point.
I can understand the theory behind that. You know, he's blocking up, he's stopping the creep wave from going straight into that Viper, but missing out on 10, 11, 12, whatever the number is a massive difference between him and Tiny. CTY on spot lane is having the time of his life. There's no one contesting him.
Is it that the Viper... I think Viper players are used to last hitting with Nether Toxin early on, and he had taken Poison Attack at level 1, so maybe until he got level 2, he was just struggling with the amount of damage he had because he was used to having the Nether Toxin damage.
Maybe. He's having a pretty rough time though. RTK is level 2.5 through the jungle
Oh,
though.
smoke into smoke.
They're heading because mid sniper already caught out Sheezry and AAA already catching him with the shrapnel slowing them down. The movement in front of the two supports, they looked really undecisive.
Yeah,
They smoked up, they ran back and forth and like, where do we go? What's our target?
It's the second time in a row actually. The previous time Rubik had haste, but he was just a bit too late. You know, the movement being a bit too slow. And this LaNm doesn't actually have stun yet on Enigma, so they're gonna go for the kill without it. They should be able to make it on the clockwork though.
Oh yeah, slow from Viper, sure. Trap yourself in the cogs, but he's still trapped in that midnight pulse. Viper taking a lot of tower hits here. Still got himself a salve though. As Tiny 28 for 7 right now. RTK hiding away in the fog, but they know he's there. Sheezry coming in, level 1 waveforms available, so he should be able to get himself out of this, no problems. But it's just forcing him off lane. He's expending all of his mana to waveform out, not aggressively or anything like that. He's waveformed over the cliff and now has the long run all the way back to his tier 1 tower, and Virgo is controlling the lane equilibrium. So even though this wave is pushing into tier 1, take a look at RTK. He's running back to the fountains. He's going to miss out on all of this juicy experience. Yeah, and he's gotten nothing. I mean, he's barely gotten anything in that orb. And one of the whole levels he got from 1 to 2 was actually in mid after Sniper died. And now that there's a chance to get some XP at his own tower, he's not there. It's terrible to see actually. But this is what happens to these offlane morphlings sometimes. And we're going to have to watch as he progresses when he eventually gets those levels. Is he able to set up those big gangs with the long duration stun, because sometimes the game just skips that stage and there's never a time at which that could happen. And with Sniper doing so badly as well, and Viper we said was missing a lot of creeps, he started getting them all. I don't know who's the pressure on here. Is it DDC and LaNm? Are they the ones who need to like put EHOME in, I don't know, better position? It's on all of them. Like, Observable has blocked out this camp very early on, so the Radiant already have that going for them. LaNm is level 4, almost 6 minutes into the game. He bought his Soul Ring like 30 seconds ago. So he's already 2.5 minutes behind where he should be. He's already, a level behind or so where he should be because of this sort of, where do we go? What should we do? We need to save the other lanes. EHOME has 7 last hits against Queen of Pain's 20. Every single lane is doing pretty damn awfully for her. Now blink forward, they're going to go in this, but the Rubik's here. Shrapnel, there's no blink out. Sonic Wave might finish in flame, will do so. The Queen of Pain finds a kill, but give up her life in exchange. Sheezry looking for the counter back on the DDC. The level 2 Maledict? It's not going to tick him over, I don't think. Midnight Pulse now, no stun. RTK just yet. He has to have the strike ready. He's going to have to throw it now, but he pushes the Witch Doctor too far away. Nothing is going right for EHOME at this moment. RTK, he's not going to get it.
I mean, the whole plan there was Rubik was waiting around, let's bet the Quap to go on Sniper will kill her, but she still kills Sniper before she goes down. And the massive rotation from Morphling and Enigma, not even managing to kill the Witch Doctor there. It's just like problem after problem after problem, and okay, finally something goes in the favor of EHOME, Viper solo killing that clockwork.
Like, you look at the kill score, it's 4-4 at 7 minutes in. And, you think, okay, that's pretty damn good. But you look at who the kills are on and who the deaths are on. The Viper is 2-0, Rubik is 2-0, so these are relatively meaningless heroes to get kills on. Okay, the Viper's going to head into metal a bit faster, but Rubik, what's he going to do? Buy Observer Wards? The Sniper is 0-4. Blockwork is, 0-2, that's perfectly fine for him. The Tiny, when did he die? Oh, that's First Blood. That was First Blood, so that
right
didn't mean too much either.
But this Tiny's gonna be ahead this game. And I was talking about last game how much CTY likes to be the CS leader, the guy with the most gold, just dominating the pace of the game by knowing that he's stronger than anyone else and being able to like threaten that aggression all the time. And he's gonna have that this game. The Wisp is gonna have a level 6 a lot sooner as well. And yeah, compared to the previous game, looks like we're watching 2 totally different teams, because DK doing a really good job in the early game here.
And in terms of overall net worth, it doesn't really show it, but it's only 8 minutes in with a 1500 net worth lead. DK looking pretty good, 700 or so experience, but it's just the strength of these lanes, and the Queen of Pain is going to start snowballing if she can keep this rate of farm and aggression up. Sniper 13 for 4. Queen of Pain pretty much doubling up on that right now with the DD rune bottled. Oh man, ENflame. Seriously? You cannot go past that line. get some more points up and take aim.
The Rubik's actually, DDC's just come and parked himself behind Sniper. Same thing again. Queen of Pain's got ulti up again, got DD again, just like she had last time. And similar situation, where Sniper's gonna get value is maybe if the Queen of Pain dives and they somehow manage to kill her before the Sniper dives. But that's gonna be hard as well. Where's ENFlame going? It's like running all the way back.
Ganking bot? I'm not too sure. It looks like that's what they're doing. I was going to ask what kind of item progression we'll expect from Enigma, but we'll come back to that in a second because Virgo goes forward onto RGK. Stun and toss now. He drops low, but now Grapple comes in. Sniper and Rubik both here ready, and this is a big kill for them. Halting Tiny's farm while up at top lane. Okay. Clockwork gets killed by the Viper, but the counter kill there from the Queen of Pain and Witch Doctor was already prepared.
Yeah, and Virgo getting a little bit carried away with how strong he is. He has picked up that early blink dagger on Tiny, which is, I think, a really impressive thing to see. Instead of sticking to the standard build, just recognize I'm in a very dominant position. This is old school Tiny. I can actually just solo kill people all the time and get that blink dagger, but he's not going to want to be diving tier 2s at this early in the game.
It's an item that we've seen from Ferrari when he's a little bit behind with the Tiny, but it's definitely one of those items where if you're behind or ahead, it can be incredibly useful. LaNm looking for the black hole. He's not got enough mana now to throw it though as Virgo comes in. Avalanche takes down one, stuns on ENFlame as well. DDC tells him to stop onto the Tiny shrapnel. The toss back, Avalanche stolen, DDC maybe to find a kill on the Quap. Assassinate will finish her off. Just about catching that. This is a massive swing here for EHOME. Taking down two of the biggest core heroes over on DK, plus the little old Witch Doctor.
Yeah, no, it's mid lane, no, nothing's happening. It's similar to what just happened at that bot lane, I think. It's EHOME just positioning well, having multiple heroes ready in the place where something's gonna happen, ending up having more heroes. That's how they killed the Tiny before, and now that's how they made these kills. Just reading the movements of DK really well and being prepared and being in the right places. And part of that is actually that the Sniper can't be mid. You know, because the Sniper can't be in his own lane doing his normal farming thing, he ends up going places where he thinks fights will happen. But that means when the fight happens, there's this extra hero there, and hey, it's a Sniper with level 4 shrapnel and level 1 assassinates, and that's really effective in these early skirmishes.
Yeah. Back to the Enigma. I was wondering where he's going with the optimization because the Viper is building into mech, which is an item you usually expect from the Enigma. He's picked up Treads after Soul Ring. Do you go for a blink here to catch your enemies off guard? You're dealing with Relocate Tiny. Oh, RGK, Avalanche toss, waveforms out, gonna dodge the Shadow Strike, and looks like it's gonna be fine for now. Backs himself up. Do you expect a blink from the Enigma just to catch out the Relocate or the Clockwork hookshot in, all of this initiation power? Maybe the Queen of Pain. If she blinks aggressively, you can really put a stop to her advance. Or do you just want the BKB from him?
I think the BKB is more likely. There's nothing that breaks BKB except the clock hook.
Yeah.
And that means that if you patient enough with it in a fight, it can be really big to RTK.
The Queen of Pain. DDC finds it. What's happening to RTK? Down the bot lane actually goes down. LaNm. He's got Black Hole. He doesn't have mana for it. He's got Soul Ring in a second, but okay, back out will allow CTY to farm up the creep cap that nearly kills him. Mid lane. Paladin down forward. Okay, then way out. A little bit overcharged there, walking into Black.z and taken out by the hookshot cogs.
This is like CIS Dota. It's like the teams have made some private agreement that they're just gonna keep fighting until someone's throne dies. Just not even a second's recess. Just go, fight. And definitely with Tiny picking up the blink dagger, that's also what that's gonna commit them to. They're not gonna be able to just spend lots of time farm this, farm that, farm everywhere. Both teams actually, I think, wanting to fight pretty early on. Viper with the mech for his team and Tiny with the blink dagger for his team.
It really is a testament to Zedway effort and EHOME. The fact that Viper has, 3 CS, 3 minutes into the game or something like that, but he's now leading in terms of net worth. 5.7 thousand net worth for the Viper. Sure enough, the Tiny should be up there if he hadn't been a little bit too ballsy in some of his plays. But just the fact that Viper has managed to build up bank, get that mech at a reasonable time, now into the cloak, tanking up as much as he can. It's really nice to see, and Knoxville pointed out a couple of minutes ago that the Sniper went for the double Wraith Band, plus Treads. He didn't go for the Ring of Aqua. Double Wraith Band is obviously going to give you a nice little boost in stats. Last hit a little bit more. Against the Queen of Pain, or against nukers in general, we do see a lot of the time the Treads Bracer build, just to give you the extra HP to last through Sonic Wave. But with the double Wraith Band plus Bracer plus Treads, which you can switch to Strength, he's now going into drums on this Sniper. He's just statting up.
Yeah, and here's that group up from EHOME. It's going to start now. It's Enigma, the Viper's mech, the Sniper's shrapnel, and threatening to use the adaptive strike. I mean, I don't think we've seen ROTK actually contribute much to the game yet, but absolutely in this position where you group up and push, there's a real threat that if you come too close to try and spam spells or something, Morphling gets that long stun on you and you end up just dying.
DDC is such a player. That little Eidolon there. Sniper was running back and it had the Eidolon perfectly positioned along. Oh, Queen of Pain stunned up. They're going to telekinesis down as well, but the assassin finishes her. Pretty easy as EDC steals a scream. But
yeah, just illustrating my point there. You know, if Morphling catches you, that's where it's going to be effective.
But the Eidolon, like they knew that the clock was coming from behind. They spotted him out, or they felt it coming. DDC had that Eidolon tracing the path of the sniper so he didn't get caught. Also that the clock didn't have a clear angle to get into the rest of the team. Down the bot, Virgo has gone forward, looking for the kill onto Inflame, but he says, hello, I've got shrapnel. Snipes down, super, doesn't bring him low enough. As RTK is hunting Virgo with the help of Zedway after finish. No, the relocate attempt, not quite there. He'll return to his death.
Yeah, and this Blink Dagger pick up on Tiny is really backfiring, because with the kind of farm lead he had early on, he could have had his Aghanims by now, he could have been farming all over the map, and instead of making a lot of kills with the early blink on Tiny, he's got a whole lot more deaths, and it spells trouble for his team. You know, the Witch Doctor is actually halfway to an Aghanims really early on in the game, so maybe that's a plus side for DK at this point. But I don't know, EHOME's 5-man group up is just really strong at this point in time.
Observe wards in the Radiant jungle. I'm a little bit confused.
I think they were placed by different players at the same time, without being communicated.
One was placed by Enigma, the other was placed by Rubik. A little bit unfortunate. Both scouting out the same area, but it's only a little bit of a waste there. Blink Dagger was the pickup from LaNm, so he's going for the Blink Enigma, not the BKB first up. You pointed out the Witch Doctor is heading towards that Aghanims. What we're seeing from DDC. He's got the Tranquils on Soul Ring heading towards a Blink Dagger maybe, but he is that 5 hard support, so it's not going to be too fast. The Queen of Pain really is the itemization hero that I'm really the most worried about. Orchid is still not anywhere near control.
Oh, DDC in trouble, but then
quick shot in with the Sonic Wave. That should be a pretty quick cleanup, but maybe the turnaround here. Inflame the blade hail from BlackZ. Okay, that's annoying, but the black hole comes in now. Virgo looking for the sniper. Will find it with one more. One more right click. Doesn't want to walk into the black hole as Queen of Pain. Stunned up by the adaptive strike. As Tiny and Wisp. Yeah, there we go. I was wondering, where's the relocate out? Super drops low, Virgo even lower.
Yeah, and it looks like ROTK going for that Midas on the offlane Morphling, and this is something we've seen quite a lot, but again, I don't know, I find it so confusing. I suppose there's nothing else for him to buy. I think that's the reason for it, right? It's like the same as when offlane Phoenix gets a Midas. There's no particular item you need to rush that's cheap. So, you know, your role's about casting a certain spell at a certain time. Might as well just get that Midas and then like gradually increase your farm throughout the game while you go around stunning people.
From Southeast Asian teams, like when the support or offlane Morphling was starting to become a thing from Southeast Asian teams, we saw a lot of Blink Dagger as the pickup straight after Soul Ring and Tranquil Boots, or Arcane Boots, whichever they went to. So I think there's Blink Dagger and Yule Scepter, which are incredibly useful for this Morphling. But like you said, the Midas just allows you to push that little bit further into the mid to late game, gets you up in the stats as well. Because once you've got, you know, level 4 in waveform, you've got levels up in actual morph. Oh man, hookshot misses. LaNm now turns back around. He's got the Malphite down for BlackZ already. And Zedway cleans that up as Sheezry. RTK is stuck down in the low ground, hiding in the river as they finish him up. Piney, relocate cancelled! Assassinate stops out the relocate, so now Virgo's stuck, slowed down by shrapnel. Zedway picks up an ultra kill.
That is really unfortunate. They fully expected to relocate out and weren't ready for having to react to relocate and not going off. Yeah, a game that was favoring DK early on and then was looking really close is very quickly swinging to favor EHOME, despite the fact that the Viper's early farm wasn't so good, despite the fact that the Sniper's lane stage was terrible. Morphling was getting nothing done. Essentially all 3 cores on EHOME had a bad start to the game.
it all started going badly. You know, the death from Tiny down a bot, I don't think that was a major thing. It was the fight near the top tier 1, where everything just went completely wrong for DK. They lost the Queen of Pain, Tiny, and the Witch Doctor, if I'm not mistaken. They definitely lost 2 cores and a support, with the Tiny being one of the cores. But that gave Viper his mech, allowed EHOME to push into tier 1 top, tier 1 mid, tier 1 bot, start taking towers and building this momentum. Now, the Viper has a Midas. 18, 19 minutes into the game, his net worth is leaps and bounds ahead of this Tiny. 3,000 ahead. Tiny is struggling to get Aghanims when, what, 7 or 8 minutes into the game, he had 2,000 gold plus treads, or plus brown boots.
Yeah, it all goes back to that Blink Dagger pickup. I mean, I applauded it as like, this is a clever idea. We can abuse the advantage we have, but it hasn't worked. It's completely backfired. You can't, as simple as that, you can't rush a Blink Dagger on a 1 position Tiny and not make kills. You have to make kills, you have to not die. You can't be buying that item to go feed. It's just like, it's not a good item to feed with. If there's such a thing, you know.
It's not a comeback item. But you're looking at the stage where Witch Doctor may have his Aghanims before the Tiny does. Look at him. He's 400 away. Sure, okay, sure. Tiny is now 800 away, and he's going to farm a little bit faster. But maybe Witch Doctor is going to get caught out here. The Queen of Pain is the first target. Let's got it to keep her alive a little bit longer. With a black hole from LaNm will lock them down in place. No really get in to save them. Queen of Pain and Clockwork both on the sidelines for about half a minute. Where is Witch Doctor? I thought he was going to just walk in there and maybe try and get a death ward out, but he's very fixed on finishing Aghanim 7.
I was going to say there's no arcade boots on EHOME, so they can't push that easily, but like every player has soaring. There's like 3 soaring. This is like that new trending Tranquil Boot soaring build. Although the Enigma doesn't have the Tranquils, the Morphling and the Rubik do. And so it's actually, you know, misleading to look at them and be like, oh, a lot of the heroes are low on mana because they've actually always got that soaring usage. And yeah, just going back to the Tiny thing, the problem is the sooner you have the Ags, the faster you push, the faster you farm, the faster you split push, and the way that they need to deal with the EHOME's 5-man group up is by split pushing, but he's only got his Aghanims now, and I think there's still going to be a window, probably, for EHOME to group up and force some more objectives, if it's the outer 2 towers or if maybe it's the mid-racks, before the threat of the split push is big enough.
I have a feeling with a black hole down right now, DK will look to smoke up. Oh, they're relocating top looking for Inflame. He's got Mask of Malice and drums. He pops them, but this just means he's going to die a little bit faster. Dropped down by a good relocating. But I was going to say, I've got a feeling that they're going to smoke up and look for a fight. Yeah, Witch Doctor has a smoke. They've got Aghanim's level 1 Death Ward. They'd love to have the level 2 Death Ward, but a team fight with level 2 Sonic Wave. Get the Queen of Pain her Orchid quickly because she needs it desperately. Just go and find a small skirmish somewhere. Take enemy ancients, go and take Roshan maybe? Oh. That's what they're going to be heading into. Roche Pit for them.
I wonder, do EHOME have many reasons to suspect this? I mean, they can't see anyone, but 2 of their lanes are being pushed in, so where are they meant to see anyone? I don't think they have that much to go on to expect that there's rush going on, and it's probably going to go down before they think about it. In fact, they're planning what looks like maybe also their own smoke. Do they have a smoke? No, they're just grouping up.
I think the plan here is, okay, then DK are behind, they're going to be farming their jungle, farming their ancients. Their ward coverage right now from the Dire pretty much consists of RuneSpot, a bot watching for transition between Roshpan and Roche Pit and bot Rune. Roshpan. I was going to say Roshan Pit, and then my brain is like Roche Pit, Roshpan, and then yeah, my brain worked a little bit too quickly for my tongue there, but no, nevertheless,
it happens.
I'm pretty sure EHOME were thinking, okay, they're behind, they want to just farm their jungle. They want to get their big items up, and that's what they're going to do. Not really taking into consideration Roshan's there, ready for taking. Hookshot in, Black.z will get as well, the Pog will lock the sniper in, but where's the response? Where's the rest of EHOME? They're not going to get in there as LaNm blinks forward, Midnight Pulse down, they're going to take down Super. The Wisp going to drop, telekinesis back, it's Black.z. Oh, TP's himself away. And it doesn't look like there's too much else to throw out here.
Yeah, and I think Sniper is going for those. Oh.
DDC, are you sure about this? He stole Clock's blink and he goes forward. Sonic Wave will drop him with the help of the Orchid. Sheezry has Death Ward, has Aghanims, but he's going to die before he gets to use it. One more right click out from the Viper. Takes him down as the Queen of Pain hides in the trees. And that was a good trade for DK. An amazing trade for DK. They get a kill, they for the most part, they get out. Their cores survived.
Yeah, and this sniper, I mean, he started with all those stats, the wraith bands, the drum, the strength shreds, but then he went into the Mask of Madness, and you know, I would have liked to see him go straight into the Sanj or the BKB or something like that, even though it's not what a sniper wants to farm. It's just like, it's way too easy for them to keep killing him. And sure, I keep talking about how EHOME's group up and push, the ability to group up with these 5 heroes is really strong. But if DK survive another sort of 15-20 minutes, gets to the stage of the game where they can easily just handle the 5-man push and they're strong enough to split push against it as well, the sniper's gonna need farm. He's just going to, because Morphling is not a DPS scaling poor. Enigma's got the lockdown but not the damage. It can't all be Viper. Like, Viper can't be all your damage.
Yeah. Especially when breaking high ground against Clockwork, Tiny, Queen of Pain, and this Aghanim's Witch Doctor with a level 2 ulti. You can't just waltz up there and say, okay, we're going to plant the Viper up on the high ground, he's going to take down tier 3, and you've got nothing you can do about it. Because DK do have a lot they can do about it, as long as their heroes are alive. Sure, if DK go aggressive and they look for a team fight and they lose, and they're fighting outside of their base or in their own jungle, then EHOME are just going to pretty much storm through. Force buybacks or take racks.
Well, Sniper's picked up that Ogre Club, so first initial attempt to get a bit tankier again. But yeah, a lot of it's also just to do with positioning. If he gets caught out by a Clockwork Hook and a relocate, or a Queen of Pain and relocate, or Queen of Pain and a Clockwork, he's always going to die if he's alone. So I think that maybe DDC or LaNm need to put more priority on covering the Sniper. But they're actually going for a 4-man smoke. Is the Sniper meant to be the bait here? Because he's not in the smoke and he's just charging off ahead. Well, he's going behind.
I think this sort of has to find him. They're going to find Tiny CTY. The blink forward, LaNm. No, not fast enough. Super. Heathers him up and escape pretty nicely there. But I think that was going to act as two things. If they relocate into the jungle and you're smoked up around the sniper, then you know that there's an observer ward in that area. So, you know, obviously it's baiting the sniper, trying to get this team fight going, but also trying to find out what their vision is actually like. Right now, the Radiant, they've got one at Rune Spot up here, and one on the Spire, which has actually just freshly been placed, so the Dire know exactly where that is.
Pretty much the entire EHOME team TPing back. I think hoping that the Queen of Pain hangs around, expecting it won't be the entire team. But I think DK smelling something's not quite right here and pulling back. Well done to them for recognizing that. And I spoke a lot about how Tiny picked up that blink dagger hoping to make kills. He ended up blinking in a bunch of times and dying, but he's caught up. He's absolutely caught up. He's gonna overtake Viper's farm reasonably soon if he keeps up at this rate. And yeah, sure, he could have been like massively ahead. He could have been 5 to 10k ahead at this stage, but in the bigger scheme of things, it's not gonna matter that much. I think if Tiny gets like massively farmed and Sniper's still lagging behind, I'm gonna start favoring DK in these team fights in the absence of like a big black hole or really important adaptive strike. The Tiny is just gonna have, like, in terms of raw DPS damage output, is gonna be like way more than anything else.
Yeah. He does get kited reasonably well by the Viper. And obviously he's gone for this Manta style to try and mitigate that a little bit. Maybe dodge the Viper strike or something along those lines. He does have the blink to keep up with people as long as he's not taking damage. But Midnight Pulse, oh man, ENFlame going for the damage down onto the Queen of Pain. He's got no one to back him up though. A little bit of a fake. RTK goes forward. Like I said, he's going to TP himself out in the middle of the trees, in the middle of the cogs, and they can't find him.
Yeah, frustrating for EHOME there, knowing exactly where he is, but having no way to deal with it. And the split push, look at that. Look at the top lane. I mean, can EHOME even consider going all 5 mid here? I don't think they can.
Is under attack.
Back yourselves up. Like the DK team want to try and push bot now. Pushing EHOME from lane to lane. Roshan will find out when he respawns in about 2.5 minutes. It's going to be pretty important for both teams to get themselves that. Either for the Sniper or the Tiny. Queen of Pain with that pretty abysmal sort of mid-game period, 15 minutes until now, has the orchid completed already. It looks like a Lincoln's for her. Adaptive Strike obviously is going to be incredibly annoying. If you're stunned for 4.25 seconds as a Queen of Pain, even if you buy a BKB, there is no time to react. You get stunned up, you die. That's it. Your game's over. You have to buy back or just let it be.
Yeah, I don't know. The later this game goes, the more I have this feeling that DK are taking the lead, and what do EHOME needs to win this game? They kind of need DK to agree to take a 5v5 and take it badly, get caught by the BKB Black or Enigma or something like that, because...
Oh, hook shot it. Interesting. Also, it's to Queen of Pain, and regardless, it's not the real Viper.
Yeah, I mean, do EHOME have the right heroes to catch the split pushing Wisp and Tiny? Not really. Maybe if it's all 5 of them, sure, but hopefully the Wisp and Tiny can tell that. And if you can't catch the split pushers, the only way to deal with that is to try and like force them into, yeah, just brute force them into a position where they have to take the fight and can't split push. But the longer the game goes, the less chance there is of them actually successfully doing that.
Yeah. Fully agree. So EHOME, they've got to look for something. Like, they have to go and force something right now. Whether it be ranks at mid, which are exposed, they're still dealing with Glyph though, or around Roshan. I feel like the next big fight, the turning point for DK, where oh god, actually, turning point for DK has already happened. All of a sudden, they've taken its 4,000 lead from EHOME over the all of a sudden over the past 7 minutes. They've taken it from 4,000 to 0. Experience-wise, it's pretty much the same story. Didn't realize it was that drastic. I thought maybe it plateaued a bit, and I guess the main thing is DK, like I said, they've been running around as 5. They've not been farming efficiently. Tiny and Wisp been farming one lane, Queen of Pain farming another. Clockwork has been going around hookshotting and farming himself. There's been no downtime for DK here. Whereas EHOME, they've had downtime, smoking, looking, searching, and then not finding, sniper, yeah, top lane, relocate in and inflame. No teammates once again to save him.
That poor sniper, he needed about 50 gold for his BKB before they went on him, and loses a bunch of that gold and going behind again. And EHOME looking at Rush, I think you're right that the Rush pit could be very significant here, because as I was saying, EHOME kind of want DK to take a team fight against them. And the only reason DK might feel forced to do that is to stop the Rush. I think that right now DK can split rush fast enough that they never need to take the team fight to defend their base. So it's going to come down to that rush. It's going to come down to when EHOME go for the rush, do DK contest it, and do EHOME get the fight they need there.
Well, they're going to find CTY now. Having struck down, Super is way too far away to catch him. There's going to be no duplicate save. It was kind of funny. Well, it was really nice to watch actually. RTK made the sort of sweeping backwards move to look for Super, because he knows that Super is going to be in this little box here, further behind the Tiny, and they're thinking that Tiny's, hiding away in the trees somewhere here. So RTK went looking for the Wisp, made sure that he couldn't close the gap and get Tether relocate onto Tiny. The rest of the team just walked in and said, okay, well, we're 3 versus 1. Pretty damn easy to kill you off if you don't have BKB TP.
It's a pretty big mistake from CTY there though. Being, caught alone in that position so far away from anyone. Probably thinking he has a blink dagger, and if he sees someone coming he can get away, but it's that kind of thing. I was talking a whole lot about how EHOME want to bait that team fight, win that team fight. Well, it's not at all necessary if they can just get a free pick off on the Tiny, because the Tiny's always going to be that key hero for DK.
Fight not even going to happen. Tiny's alive in 15 seconds. This Aghanim's upgraded Death Ward, we still haven't seen it. I really thought DK would maybe try and make something happen with it, but it's just not happened. Replica gets stunned up by the cask. Rocket, flare, hook shot in as well. Clockwork Sniper picks it up. It does die to the Dire now. LaNm, where's the black hole? Who are you going to be looking for? Maybe find the Queen of Pain. Clockwork dies up on the cliff, but that's Roshan down. BKB popped by the Viper. Tiny waltzing his way down mid lane, sort of like, hey guys, I'm alive. You kind of took that fight without me.
This will come in
That seems like a really unnecessary, attempt at stealing the rush of the Aegis. I'm not sure why DK felt the need to do that. I suppose it's only the clock that dies, so not too bad after all the dust settles, but BKB. I think Tiny was there, and Tiny blinked away. I think Tiny manted in front of him and then just blinked away, and he was planning to BKB run in and black hole him.
Okay. Interesting. Relocate now down onto RTK. He's got no wait for him for 4 seconds, and this should be his death with a few swipes from Mr. Tiny CTY. They'll take him down. Blink dagger for the Witch Doctor picked up as well, so he's going to be looking to get himself into position. The Death Ward we saw down at that rush pit wasn't bad, it just wasn't great. They didn't have the setup, they didn't have the actual team fight they wanted. To bait people into Tiny, to make them fight him or kite him. And then you have to deal with the Death Ward and try and run away, because that's the main component really from DK's team fight. Tiny goes in with the Wisp, you either fight him or run. If you fight him, Sonic Wave and Death Ward happen. They jump over the top of you and start dealing some pretty serious damage. But if you run away, then you get chased down by clock hook shot, then you're forced to fight anyway. So DK definitely do have some pretty good heads up, and also
Tiny, is he gonna get caught again?
I'm getting a little bit of lag now. Hook shot flies, but I can't see what's going on. This is the worst time to get lag. Black.z is still gonna get taken out. He tries to relocate. No, he dies, right?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Looks like actually the sniper's aegis goes down and everyone on the side of DK survives, so
Do they go back?
pretty good trade.
CTY is looking for something. He blinks up onto the cliff and going to TP himself away. As Sheezry, that ancient is not for you. Lifted up and thrown into the assassinate. Flame.
I still think that the win condition for EHOME here depends so much on killing Tiny, and it makes no difference whether they have aegis or not, because okay, right now, maybe now's that gap. Now they're gonna group 5 and push mid and force that fight, because right now there's no opportunity for a split push. It must be the first time this has happened in about 15 minutes, that the entire team EHOME is alive, ready to push, and there's no split push to deal.
If they spot the Titan who just picked up a full AC, and CTY regularly buys up big items and forgoes buyback, maybe EHOME know he doesn't have buyback available.
Yeah, and if they kill him, suddenly the game just ends.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The buyback availability right now is the Queen of Pain does, that's the only hero on the Radiant that actually has it ready. ZWF just hammering away at these racks while Tiny sitting in the wings, waiting for an opportunity. The hook shot in onto RTK. It's the Morphling though, not the hero you want to catch. DDC gets stunned top. Black Hole, LaNm has it ready. BKB, Black Hole, Cannon, Swamp, and Tiny. But where's the damage? Snuggled out of position. ZWF going to get ripped apart by the death ward as Virgo chases them down. One more hit here from the Queen of Pain will secure that kill as, Inflame toss. No, Virgo doesn't find him, and they don't lose their racks. It's sitting on 120 HP, regenning up pretty damn quickly. EHOME lose 4 heroes. Don't really get too much in return.
And asking the important question, ultimately, where's the damage? That's, I mean, you know, I wasn't just saying that EHOME needs to force DK to fight, they need to force DK to fight badly. Because for EHOME to win the game, they want to take a team fight or get a pick off on Tiny. But that shouldn't even, that's not like easy for them to achieve. It's not like they naturally just take these fights, because the sniper's still Viper. Enigma hits like a really long Midnight Pulse, but he's only got level 1 Midnight Pulse still anyway. Didn't bother to max out that skill. I think he got a whole lot of points and stats in there.
That's really weird. Midnight Pulse is like one of the best skills in the game. That percentage HP burst, or basically burst up against strength heroes like Tiny. The Avalanche toss catches out DDC and Inflame, trying to cleave through them all. There's the Midnight Pulse for LaNm, but no stun, nothing to really hold him out. RTK tries to get in there, but defending your base is incredibly difficult. Assassinate gonna drop the Wisp a little bit, but EHOME, things are looking pretty rough for you right now as DK walk into your base, take racks, and sort of walk straight back out. RTK, he's going in here, he's got nothing to throw, he can't stop Inflame. BKB's after almost dying, Virgo just slamming through the wall. Super will be the first to drop. No, LaNm dies first, as the death ward lasts about 3 seconds, but it's still going to do enough damage for CTY and Tiny to clean up house.
Yeah, and all of a sudden EHOME completely falling out of this game. And the strength of that Wisp Tiny, I mean, didn't work in the first game, but absolutely working in the second game. Even after delayed starts to Tiny's item build with that early Blink Dagger, he's now at the top, and not just in terms of net worth, that's not the only important thing, it's just like, look at what EHOME have to deal with him. They basically have to black hole him, unless they get like the chain adaptive strike, telekinesis adaptive strike situation, and then they need all of the damage dealers to be targeting him.
They've got no hacks or anything like that. DDC, yeah. I think this is the point where you start considering calling GG. Tiny with the AC Matter Style and 5,000 gold in the bank. Super with Mac earned, overcharging him up, and this Queen of Pain, who struggled to get Orchid, now has Lincoln's and Hex right now. Second lane rack's going to drop here. Sure, there's still the range of mid, which they can go through. Tiny can, what, 3 hit it? 1, 2, 3, okay, 4. 4 hits and the range max dies. Tier 3 at top. Looks like they're just going to go for a clean sweep as EHOME with Black Hole ready in 10 seconds. Maybe one last hurrah for this Enigma.
It goes back a lot to the early game we were discussing. There was a stage where the score was 4-4 and the gold and XP were about even, but you could just tell that DK were way ahead, and it's because the sniper was the hero that kept dying. And snipers that die a lot early on always have this kind of difficult position of, do I just go glass cannon even though I'm so far behind, or do I tank up so I stop dying? And in this game it was kind of like he tanked up a bit, he glass cannoned a bit, he tanked up a bit. You can't really decide between the two, but if you do the middle ground, then you still die anyway, and you don't do enough damage. If you go full glass cannon, you die even more. If you go full tanky, then you're not doing the damage, and there's no one else to do the damage here. It's the Viper's like doing some damage, but it's proven time and time again to not be enough to carry his team through these fights.
I really think that LaNm has made a serious error.
My waters rise.
Would you go for the stat? That's just so you can try and break high ground a little bit easier, because Midnight Pulse is great when you're going aggressively onto high ground as well. You just make this choke point where, okay, you have to walk through Midnight Pulse and then possibly into a black hole, or you just don't walk in at all, we take your buildings. With 5%, yeah, 5.25% of your HP on a 3000 HP Tiny. He's losing so much HP per second.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be a concern about being burst down, getting more points and stats as a result. Maybe a concern about holding people in Midnight Pulse, since it seems like the black hole itself is the only really efficient way to do that. Then again, it is a good way to combine with the adaptive strike, and I've spoken a lot about how this offlane morphling can often be pretty useless actually for the amount of gold he has, like unable to do a whole lot on his own. And one thing he could do actually is combine Adaptive Strike and Midnight Pulse. So I think I'm inclined to agree with you that I don't see the relative value of the levels and stats this game over the Midnight Pulse levels.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That's not good. Sitting at 390-ish right now. Barely ahead of the clockwork in terms of this sniper not having a great game. 26,000 net worth up on that Tiny. He is, what, 6 slotted fully now? Can switch out the blink and the treads, maybe. Holds the Matter Style over on the courier. Been pretty damn good for CTY on this Tiny this game. Level 16. On the Witch Doctor, not too far away. He would love to have the level 3 Death Ward when they go for this final base push. But how are we looking for buybacks? That's the most important one for me. Sniper has buyback. We've already used it on the Enigma, on the Wisp as well. But okay, Viper has buyback as well. But I really want to see this Enigma get to the point where he has buyback. It's going to take another 2.5 minutes, another 1,000 gold. It's a long shot, but if he dies without getting a big black hole off, the game actually just ends.
This Witch Doctor, by the way, has nearly got Blink, BKB, and Aghanims. That's pretty terrifying, because at that point it's like, what do they have to do? They have to black hole him. I guess Assassinate could stop it, but that's gonna take a while.
Does the Assassinate Mini-Stun go through BKB?
I'm not sure if it does, but my experience is that it's usually LTs that do. Usually the stuns from LTs go through BKB, so I'm just like guessing it does. I think it does. My hunch is that I've seen that happen, but I'm not completely sure. And Tiny's just changed his... What? He's just bought phase boots? Oh no.
Travel.
He bought phase boots first, then he sold them, and then he bought travels. He was like...
Misclick in the shop, they're right next to each other, right? Go and shop. Boots. Yeah, phase and boots of travel are right next to each other, so... It's like, oh, do I want the purple ones or the red ones? I'll go with purple. No, I want the red ones. Virgo. Left up on this top lane alone. RTK looking for the blink forward into Adaptive Strike. The rest of the team is starting to back him up. No Radiant Vision over here. They do have an Observer Ward over towards the Roche Pit, who is now back up and alive. The EHOME try and force something there. Inflame has a crit. but nothing too much else as the Queen of Pain just slowly, casually pushes in the spot lane. Tiny TPing in fact, as well. But they're going to be heading into Roche Pit themselves.
Is it? I was just gonna say, black.z had dropped his bottle on the ground for a really long time in his jungle, and he's finally decided actually it's worth more than his start shield, and gone back, put down the start shield, and picked up the bottle. But yeah, did Witch Doctor finish his BKB? Oh, he's got the gold, he hasn't actually got it yet.
Hookshot misses there from black.z. RTK pushes him up onto the cliff with the adaptive strike. ZYF, oh, they want to go in and finish this. Aghanim's on the clockwork means he's got hookshot available now. It's back up again. Illusions from Tiny are in the way. ZYF, back yourself up. You don't want to be caught here. Hookshot, where is it? Where's it going to fly? No, they're not going to go for it just yet. He was positioning himself, getting ready to maybe fly across into them. But
yeah, no, I think the only reason DK don't force the fight there is they're waiting for that Witch Doctor BKB. The courier was so far away, taking really long.
I think it's more than that. Sure, the BKB Witch Doctor is one factor, but also look at the lanes. Look at where EHOME's lanes are right now. DK don't need to force it because they know EHOME have to go back and defend. ZYF is hexed up by the clock, slow down, here's the hookshot in. ZYF, where's your BKB? You're gonna pop it now with a mech as well. Tries to turn the fight, LaNm. Not sure about this body, the Death Ward gets laid down. Level 2 Death Ward bouncing between two, but he's now stunned up. RTK finds the adaptive strike, but the Enigma still no black hole until the dying seconds of the team fight. Where was Tiny and where was Wisp?
Look at the base. Look at the base.
Okay, that's where Tiny is.
That's where getting mega creeps and hitting the throw. You know, it's funny because we're looking at the fight and it's like, what the hell? How are DK losing this fight? Things are going so badly, but actually, Tiny is in your base. Like, all your base are belong to Tiny, and I think it's gonna be like a really small victory actually for EHOME, that they might get the rush on. Are they even getting? Yeah, they get the rush on, but that's nice.
The face is on. Clockwork somehow gets himself up on his clock force staff, it looks like. Maybe was trying to steal it, not too sure. DDC has the stolen Sonic Wave, but that's the level 1 Midnight Pulse finally gets
oh man.
killed.
And I'm watching Sniper like Morphling went top adaptive strike the Tiny, and Sniper was standing there hitting him for like 5-6 seconds and just not dealing any damage. Like the Wisp's like healing and overcharge was countering the Sniper's damage completely. It's just like the Sniper's that weak at this point in the game. I mean, look at Sniper's net worth compared to Tiny's. He's half. He's half his net worth.
It's not fun. Not a fun place to be. Enigma has the cheese and a jet. BKB is on 6 seconds now. Yeah, the weight of the game lands on LaNm's shoulders right now. As they've defending the base against mega creeps. It's almost impossible. They don't have any major creep clearing abilities. They've got no Mjolnirs, no Battle Furies, no Cleave, no anything. Viper is fully single target. Is Viper doing what I think he's doing?
And against Wisp Tiny, I mean, yeah, he is doing what you think he's doing. I have no doubt about it, but like it's one thing to say against Mega Creeps, but against Wisp Tiny,
yeah.
Like how do you how do you leave your base?
Like, hey guys, we've pushed out our lanes to sort of halfway towards the river. We're looking pretty good now. Let's go and push one lane all the way to their base. Hang on a second. Our base is being demolished. By who? Who could it possibly be knocking at our door? Oh, look at the tiny whip.
I wonder if there's a stat on that actually. How many times professional teams have won against mega creeps with tiny wisp? I would guess probably never. I mean, it's a small enough number of times people win against mega creeps in the first place.
Pretty damn low. And now you're getting boosted travel up on the Queen of Pain as well. The Witch Doctor did finish up his BKB. Still not level 16 yet. That's the level I'm looking for, and that's the item that I was wondering about. It is a relic, a rapier. Big old damage dealing item up on that Viper. I don't know what RTK is saying, but I'm pretty sure it's something along the lines of Viper is going to throw and give you a relic. A rapier. I don't know why I keep saying relic here.
Yeah, some kind of jokey like, come at me, bro. Here's a rapier. Like, now we're gonna beat you. It's like...
Oh, DDC. DDC. Sonic Wave, what to do? They take out the Witch Doctor. black.z has a look shot. He's gonna have to use it soon because Viper ripping through his HP.
Tiny's in your base. Yep. Tiny is in your base.
He's taking down the small buildings. How many buildings are actually left? There are two small buildings and the Ancient.
Yeah, his image is actually finished off that last tower without his real hero even going close there. And I think it would take a ridiculously high amount of throwing from DK to not win this game at this point. It would take like Tiny has to like, I don't know, deliberately die many times in a row. You know, to the point that he dies without buyback.
I need a translator here. I need to know what RTK is saying because he usually has some pretty entertaining things throwing out there. The other day he had a little bit of a go at one of the admins, and that was pretty funny. Slash was translating it as we went along, but right now it looks like he's trolling CTY a little bit. Virgo turns back, smiles at him. Please, Twitch chat, can you translate for us what they're saying?
Yeah, I have no idea. By the way, apparently Knoxville said that there was at least one game where Secret lost against VG Gaming at DAC, where they gained Mega Creeps and had Wisp and Tiny.
And lost?
And lost,
oh,
yeah.
Wow. So I don't remember that game.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but there must have been something really interesting, like circumstantially, and definitely they probably didn't do it with a supremely underfarmed sniper. Let's add that to the stat. Let's ask how many times has the team won against Mega Creeps against both Tiny, when the Tiny's twice as rich as the sniper. Oh,
RTK is now calling GG.
Dyer's agent is under attack.
Like, wait, is that a fake GG? What's going on here? He said something about GG, then he said GG.
Maybe he was saying we'll never call GG, and then I don't know. Or in before Reddit thread about fake GGs, terribly unmanner.
Come and end the game! I freaking dare you! Walk up to our base, see what you're handling. He said, "Come here quickly." He's taunting he's taunting DK to come and fight. Lie means come. So they're just basically saying, "Come into our base. Come and fight us." Is that a real GG now? Is that another fake GG? Are we seeing EHOME tapping out? Yeah,
I mean, DK never needs to commit. I think they could probably win by committing, but
there we go.
Finally. So with Tiny doing it this time.
That was the weirdest thing. For a good 2 or 3 minutes there, I'm pretty sure RTK said GG like 3 times. But in the end, guys, DK come back and take game 2 here in this best of 3 in the ESL One Frankfurt Chinese qualifiers between DK and EHOME. Now, this one was a little more even. It wasn't sort of one-way street from EHOME, just like, okay, we're gonna smash through your base and win in 30 minutes. This one, it took a little more time for the Tiny to get things going, especially with the early start where he was blinking in, giving away kills and things like that. But in the end, EHOME just didn't have any big AoE combination with the Enigma. They couldn't outmaneuver DK this game.